Yes, hello, this is from Soprano, Finland. I'm Arto Tenhunen, CEO and founder of Soprano. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Soprano is the leading Nordic private education organization. We provide diplomas, certificates, vocational qualifications and university degrees. What makes Soprano so unique? Soprano is pioneering global online education with AI learning environment. All theoretical studies, projects, tests and contacts with students can be done 100% online. Our 1,500 programs are special in management and leadership, communication and marketing, international trade and ICT. And now we are starting collaboration with you with cyber security. In cybersecurity training, we are talking about transferable skills. It's very important that cybersecurity experts they know what they are talking about, but they have to communicate it with those special knowledge they have inside their organization. So what it means to Genii Institute is that our combination of content, educational technology and advanced analytics enables us to increase student motivation, reduce dropouts and increase learning results, improve them. So do we have credibility? Soprano Group has over 70 years of pedagogical experience. We have validated ISO 9001 quality standard in all our units. Our qualifications and degrees are valid in all European countries. Soprano plc is listed on Nasdaq Stock Exchange. And for more, in collaboration with the world's leading Finnish pedagogical professors, we deliver programs for teacher professional development. With better teachers, we all have better results. So, Soprano delivers world-class education globally, on-site, remote, or online. The choice is yours. Today, we are celebrating the grand opening of Genii Institute and our new partner in Johannesburg. Friendly Gulu and we met at the Finnish South African Embassy in an elevator 1 year ago. So it was quite an elevator speech with me and Friendly. I was looking for enthusiastic business partner to collaborate, and I really found one. Business negotiations have been taking place in many towns in Finland and in South Africa. Finally, we signed the original partner agreement just before my plane was leaving from Johannesburg airport. And now we are starting our first program for cybersecurity. I wish all my best to Genii Institute and all my best to my dear friend Friendly. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here in speaking and tell you a little bit about our educational background and the cyber security. We have established this 360 Cyber Academy where we have had all the best Finnish knowledge about the cyber security general, and also education and the AI-based systems, how to report and analyze learning. It is very important in the cyber area that when we are looking the threats what we have today, increasing every day a lot, that we really look threat-based education. And our first training course, what we will start in July, will be very special course for the cyber security leaders. And this is also important both countries in Finland and South Africa, that we can train specialists in South Africa who can train to the other specialists inside the country and also other African countries. This is a long-going process, and as Arto said, that we have combined this best knowledge in Finland in this program and this process. And we have very good people behind planning, doing, and building these courses and understanding about the cyber security. It's also the big possibility for different countries. Even we have cyber threats, but also it gives new opportunities people for new professionals. We are lacking in the Europe about 500,000 new professionals, European level, and 2.5 million people worldwide, which means in the Africa level that there is between 500 to 1 million new jobs in the cyber security in the future. And with Genii Institute, this is our target to be the leading education center in the South Africa and also to the other African countries with the South African specialists what we are going to train in Genii Institute together with the 360 Cyber Academy knowledge. I have been traveling around the world in Asia, China, and also in the Europe, and looking after what are the main challenges we have everywhere in the world, and they are very similar everywhere, because we had to really change our minds in the education side. We have more than 300,000 new threats coming every day, and we really had to think that how we train the people and what will be our strategic thinking in the country level, organization level, and company level. And when we have this mindset in the leadership and the leaders in the different level of the organizations, then we can start to do the right things in the education and the decision level. And that's the knowledge we have here in Finland, and we really want to learn each other with your government people and the companies together how we can make this as most successful way in your country. That's what we are now doing, and I'm coming in Monday morning early 6 o'clock to the Johannesburg and ready for your use and the meetings also. If there's anything else you want to know, we can together with the friendly then organize the meetings together. And yesterday I was talking about your ambassador here in Finland, and we have the long discussion about the education possibilities and all the cooperation parts what we can do together between South Africa and Finland. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Any questions, or we go to the Mr. Aapo Sederberg, who is the cyber specialist. Aapo has been building the Finnish cyber policy in 2013, and he can tell this a little bit more about. And he is also the fellow in the Geneva Center for Security Policy, and he's the one, we can say, the Mr. Cyber in here in the Europe. Okay, Aapo, please.
Thank you, Pertti, for the kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, I feel distinguished to address you today, and also want to add my voice in congratulating Genii Institute for the grand opening. I start with the key questions, and I think perhaps the best way to start is to put the question: what is cybersecurity, and why cybersecurity is important for modern societies? We are all looking how to develop our modern societies and how to build competencies in the modern societies. And digitalization is the key word for success. And when we are building digital societies, which includes e-services and all services and critical infrastructures in the modern societies, we always face the new threats and challenges. And that's why we have to be able to build hand in hand the digitalization and cybersecurity. If we are forgetting cybersecurity and just looking for digitalization, then we will face at some point new threats and challenges, and we cannot be successful. Therefore, cybersecurity have to be part of the processes in building modern societies. The second question, of course, could be why cyber is important. Cyber is different compared to many other sectors of security, because it's not just a question for security authorities. It's a question for the whole of society. So every sector, every critical function of the society, the vital functions of the society, can be a target for a cyber attack. And then we have to be able to respond. We have to able to be prepared against the cyber crisis and also handle the cyber crisis. And it's not only the security authorities, it's not only the police, it's not only the military, it's the whole of society. You have to be able to involve the society and work together, collaborate, coordinate, and be more effective. And then we come how to make this happen. And the key to success is education. You have to have right competencies in the right elements and in the right agencies of your society. And actually more and more vital is the private-public partnership. Finland is having a very unique private-public partnership model where we are planning and preparing together with the key companies in our societies. So the authorities and private sector is working together, because the private companies are the service providers in the modern society. And if they are not having the same education at the authority side and the business side, then there is a problem. And the other key element is awareness. We have to have shared situation awareness among the key stakeholders in the society. And that's why what CyberWatch is doing, we are the only company in Finland who is providing strategic situation awareness, strategic competencies to all the key stakeholders in the society, authorities, companies, NGOs, everyone who can be involved to cybersecurity. So that's why we are happy to be involved in this new approach, and we are happy to share the experience which are based to the Finnish model, which is not it's just one model, but also we have been working in many other countries, building competencies, building strategies, and building resilience, which is the key word. So how to build the resilience in a modern society, and cyber is there an integral element on this process. And we are happy I'm happy to come over to your country in July and start the practical process and education process which have been described here by the previous speakers. Thank you.
Okay, and now we are ready for the questions. And I ask all the audiences coming to here.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a good question. Actually, if I refer to the Finnish case, so when we were building the strategy to Finland 2010-2013, it took 2 years for us to do it. So the backbone of the strategy is the cyber policy, how the government is giving mandate to all the key stakeholders in the society, what is their role and how they coordinate, collaborate together. And then also how Finland is collaborating with other countries. At the end of the day, we have to understand that cyber challenge is a global challenge. So it's not just what we are doing inside the country, we also have to be able to handle it together with your international partners. And the key in the cyber policy is to describe what is the policy, what is the baseline for a country, how to handle this crisis. And there is no international solution for cybersecurity. That's why it's vital that at the national level you have the right competencies, you have the right will to handle the cyber crisis. Yeah, I hope I got your question right. So every country is different. So the cybersecurity system in every country had to be tailored. It had to be really applicable to the security system of the country. And that's why it's crucial to analyze first how the comprehensive security in a country is built, and then see how to build the cyber security. It had to be built inside your overall security system. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective. And that's why we always start with an evaluation of the maturity level of the cybersecurity in a country, and then we are looking what kind of measures had to be taken. But then looking at nationwide cybersecurity, you can envisage and see that there are always the same elements. You have to have the legal basis. You have to have the situation awareness. So you have to have a cybersecurity center, a technical monitoring system, what is happening in the networks of your country. You have to have the leadership system. Who is the leading agency in your country in cybersecurity? Who is the leading minister? In the Finnish system, it's the prime minister, it's the whole cabinet, the whole government is in charge of the cybersecurity, because there is a task for every ministry in the field of cybersecurity. Then you have to look how to build the education system. So like we have been building for our universities special courses for cybersecurity. So in your country you have to see how the basic education, how you involve this in your schools, universities, and then you have to train your authorities and the whole of society. So the whole nation, the education is really key. Then when it comes to the police, cybercrime is a challenge, as was said. So you have to be able to build inside your police force a special cyber capacity. We have done a special cyber investigation center in Finland, who is able to figure out what is happening in the field of the cybercrime. And then when you are looking to defense, so you can't have a credible defense system in a modern world without having a credible cybersecurity defense. So inside your defense system, you have to see what kind of new cyber capabilities are needed in your defense. So that's crucial. And then, as I said in my speech, when this is a challenge for the whole society, when you are building those competencies in the society, then you have to see how you arrange the coordination on operational level. Who is the coordinator, and then on strategic level and political level, how you create the coordination. And then you can really say that you can have a cost-effective system when you are able to use all the resources that are available in your society. So this is very briefly how you build the whole society approach in cybersecurity. But as emphasized, every country is different. You have to really be able to build in according to your country security system and your normal practices. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I hope I could answer your question.
And if I may continue Aapo's speech and answer, although there is every country is different, then still we have similarities that we have 5 different levels of in cybersecurity from the education point. There's a governmental level, there's a big corporation level, there's a normal company level, there's a human level, and there's a coding level. So there's 5 different layers inside cybersecurity skills.
Yes, and if you look to that, as I said in my speech, that education had to be threat-based. It doesn't help anything that if we educate people for the past, because there's 300 new threats coming 24/7, 365 days, and only way we can fight against this is to really look in the future and train the whole society, all these levels what Arto said, and also looking how to educate people in the future threats, not in the past. And Finland is the well-known best country in the education, and one of the best countries in the security. And as I said, that AI, security, cybersecurity, and education is combined now under the 360 Cyber Academy, where we can offer the best Finnish knowledge to your use, and then we can learn each other how to make the South Africa system best possible way to do this in the future.
Yeah, this is a good question. How to build the coordination and one of the key things in cybersecurity is confidence building. So you have to know your partners. So you have to know with whom you are working together. It starts from the political level. So it's not always the same countries you are working together in other fields. So you pick up and select your partners at the political level. Then you have to know your service providers. You have to know your technical solutions. They have to be reliable. There shouldn't be any backdoors. So then you create the circle how to coordinate on technical and operational level. So you have to really, it's not only education where you have the different levels, but also in coordination you have the different levels. And the key to success that you know your partners, you have confidence among the partners, and then you can be successful.
And also it's a continuous process that it had to go all the way. The Hong Kong example is very good or bad, we can see that, but their GDP is 300 billion and they are losing 10% for the cybercrime. Even their systems are quite good looking and the good strategies, but we have had the deep discussion with the privacy commissioner in there and trying to find the right way to look after that, why they are losing the 30 billion still, 10% of the GDP. And that's a good example that how important is to do the right things all the time and improve the system also.
Well, that's another very good question. So you have to be able to build the legal basis for cybersecurity based on your national legislation. So we have very few pieces of international legislation which are applicable to cybersecurity. And then I mean the key things are how you balance the privacy and the rights of the authorities. Because in a modern society you have to be able to guarantee the privacy for your citizens, but at the same time when the cyber threat is inside the cables, so you have to have a good cyber intelligence system that you are able to monitor and build awareness what is happening inside your cables in a way in the cyber world. And there you have to be very careful how you give the rights to the authorities, how they will be, how there is a political system overlooking the authorities in order to guarantee the privacy and transparency for the citizens. And then you look like in our country legislation, all the ministries, they are responsible for their own legislation. So we have been tasking all the ministries to monitor and review their legal basis or the legislation and see what had to be done in order to be able to build the right cybersecurity system for the country. So this is a long process. We have been now working with the legislation for 7 years, and it will continue. So basically it will take roughly 10 years for Finland to go through the legislation, and when we are building a cybersecurity system, at the same time we are building the better legal basis for the cybersecurity. So quite a challenge. Thank you. Yes, I have been together with Pertti teaching in Geneva Center for Security Policy. We have been running cyber courses, so we have been having participants for many other countries. On this concept and on bilateral level, we have been advising and training people at the Balkans in Europe, and now more and more in Asia. There are some countries where we are doing the same processes what we are offering for you. So this is a global challenge, and we always try to first know the level what kind of training is needed, and then we tailor the training for all the countries a little bit differently. So that's why we are happy to come over to your country and see where to start, how to build the best possible training and education program for you. So this is always our approach.
As you may understand that this is a kind of a secrecy, the countries, the name of the countries, but I can assure you that Soprano is working in more than 50 countries around the globe.
Is it possible to give me 3 for now, just for us to have the reference?
Okay, I can tell you the 3 last countries where I have been doing where I have been training. So I was in Serbia, because they are building the society. They need new kind of competencies. I was in Northern Macedonia, because they are in the same situation, and then I was in Moldova and also helping them. So they are just practical examples.
And I was just before my last visit in South Africa, I was deep discussion with the Philippine government. We had it the first workshop together with all the commissioners, police forces, intelligence service and military, and now we are going the next step will be to the education level and looking at what kind of education is needed, and also the Philippine Police Academy, who we are going to start to train as a main forces for the cyber in this area. And also we have had a deep discussion in the Hong Kong and Indonesia.
And I can say you a couple more, but of course we are serving both Finnish and Swedish governments. So Finnish government is our client, and also in Sweden, for example, tax offices are our clients.
It's what is the most important thing? Yes. So if I would always start this looking what is the main target. If you look at the companies, the main target is the senior management, because they are doing the decisions, and there is valuable data. So the data manipulation, the data fraud, it's targeted to high level of management. So that's why the main group should always be, you start from the top, you train your top management, you train your political decision makers, because they are anyway the first one who is going to face the threat. And then based on the education, you have to make sure that they are able, because cyber environments evolving quickly, that they are able to follow the development, and that's why there is a need for awareness, shared awareness, and after the training you have to make sure that their knowledge is updated. That's one of the big changes, that in the past in security sector the situation was not changing so quickly, but cyber world is evolving all the time, and that's why you have to be able to follow the changes in the cyber world.
And I would like to continue there that the biggest threat of all is your own personality. So always the biggest threat is coming from inside your organization.
Yeah, answering about the quantum computing, it's an interesting question, because if we look at the technology side, that all the studies show that the 60% of the threat is the human risk. As my colleague said, that humans are the biggest risk. It doesn't matter what kind of technology we are using, and only the 40% is the technological issues. That if we invest the 10 billion for the technology, we still have a 60% hole. That's why the cyber is more the human and education question than the technical question, because technology is always solved and there is always a solution for the technology. Two good example is from the medical field, that when the IBM developed the Watson, and if you ask the doctors that what they think about the Watson, they can always say that the Watson can give the same answers that the doctors, but the patients never follow the rules. That it's not really technology; it's a humans in medical field also, and the quantum computing in general level is going to be the world better whenever it's ready. It's still far away. It's easier to handle to technology inside the computer, but of course the bad people are coming all the time better and better, that it will be the continuous fight. And that way we come back to the very early stage what we were talking about here, that we had to do the continuous training for the incoming threats, where the quantum computing is one option, but then we have all the other options. The good example is to the any kind of the new technology where we can shield the data very well, like crypto and the other currencies and the blockchain. You can maybe read about the story that somebody put the children porn in the blockchain. In the European law is saying that if you use any technology for the children porn, then you lose this technology for the government. Now, how you can lose this kind of technology, anybody? That there's always challenges what we had to win in the future. That's why we should focus for the human training, because technology is going so fast anyway, that if the individuals are not very well aware any level of the government or the society what they are doing with the technology, then we are always in the big challenges. Yes, and as I said, that I will be there in the Monday morning, Monday and Tuesday, and whenever you can organize the meeting with these people, and I'm very glad to also discuss face to face more questions that maybe it's not easy to do here in the internet. Thank you. Thank you everybody. It was a pleasure to discuss with you.
And congratulations there, Genii Institute and Friendly. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. I will say kiitos.
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 Bye bye.